And the chairman of the Finance Committee and the Trump Victory Committee, Lou Eisenberg, with us this morning. Lou, it's good to see you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. So give us a status check on the money end of this. You know, we were talking earlier on the program that you need enough money to compete with Hillary Clinton's ads. You need enough money to actually go pick people up and take them to the voting booth so that you get the voter turnout. How would you characterize things 2 weeks to go?
Well, we finished last month with a $100 million raise. Grant you, that's not the same as the $154 million or thereabouts that Hillary reported. But then she spent the $154 million. And she's been all over with negative ads, saturating. And I think as we speak today, we're within 5% of one another in most of the real clear average polls. Donald Trump makes up for a lot of money that she has had to spend. And that's probably because he's got the right case for the American public.
So you don't think money is going to be a problem, or is a problem?
Oh, no. I think money is a big problem, but not the money in the race. I think the money of the American people that they have to spend and will have to spend is the big problem. And it's pretty easy to see that one economic program that's presented, which is the Republican Donald Trump program, basically will put more money in the pockets of every American. That's the money that really counts. And I think as we focus on that, and you pointed out, I think, in the start of this show, that Obamacare premiums are going through the roof. When the average American, by tomorrow, I hope, with great newscasters like you, emphasizing the fact that the average American is going to pay 25% more for health care, that's the money that's really going to count. That message will resonate without any additional money being spent than we planned.
All right, we're talking about two different things here. I was talking about the money in the campaign. Does Donald Trump have enough money? You're getting to the really nuts and bolts of this campaign, and that is the two different economic plans.
No, what I'm saying is, yes, he has enough money in the campaign to compete on television, but I think he's going to get the additional boost of a great clarification of the real money issue.
So let's talk about that, because many voters, the economy is the #1 issue. Donald Trump is planning to cut taxes and reduce regulation. Hillary Clinton is doing exactly the opposite. So do you think that message is resonating? Because, I mean, you look at the CEOs, the number of CEOs that have gotten behind Donald Trump. It's not a long list. And as a result, people are saying, well, why isn't this economic message a 15% corporate tax rate, rolling back regulations, which we all know have been strangling businesses? Why is that not resonating to CEOs?
Well, I believe that CEOs represent the 1/10 or 1/100th of the 1% that basically this election's been all about, because it's the American people against the very privileged. You know, if you're sitting at the top of your ivory tower, you can afford to take a very different stance in terms of people's money. But the country recognizes that, and I think when you see the crowds that Donald gets, they know, they get it. I'm frankly amazed that a CEO would be favoring a policy that is a veered socialist in nature.
Well, she's going to raise taxes on the highest earners, and that it will trickle down to small business. And she's going to build on the regulatory environment, which has been a negative. So that's why I'm stumped by this. Let me ask you about the finance part of this and how you divvy it up from the RNC versus Donald Trump, because we know now Hillary's camp, they are completely expecting to win this thing, and now they're focused on down-ballot races. How's the money divvied up in terms of money from the RNC and Donald Trump's money?
Okay, well, Trump Victory, when you make a contribution, a very small percentage, $2,700, goes to the Trump campaign. The rest of the contribution goes down ticket and building the ground game. And the ground game, I think, is so underestimated right now. Reince Priebus has put together with the Republican Party an excellent machine, and I think the Trump campaign recognized that when they came out of the primary and made the deal of combining forces with the RNC, that we had already started and would continue to put in an excellent ground game. We're just being underestimated, so the proof will be in the pudding.
What can you do in these next 2 weeks? What do you need to do in these next 2 weeks to get those money numbers up? To actually, and where do you allocate that money?
So, well, I think, and you can sort of ratify this belief, but I think a lot of the time, if you will, on television, et cetera, is bought out already for 2 weeks. So the contest, I think, will be close in terms of watch the swing states, because that's where we're going to concentrate the dollars. Everybody has said that all along, but when you mention Florida and you go through the other swing states, we'll be there. We'll be very competitive with money spent. And I think our ground game will turn out to be superb.
What do you do with that money in these swing states? I mean, obviously, Florida is very close. We had Renee Elmers on earlier from North Carolina, and she said that there's a lot of voter interest in North Carolina. What other swing states are you going to be putting some money into these next 2 weeks?
Right. If I'm correct, both Florida and North Carolina have already started their early voting. So,
yes, absolutely.
And it's on the way. We're doing the same. It's the same ground game. There's not an unusual twist in this. We're getting people out to vote, making sure they're registered. But it's not something we started for these 2 weeks. We've been doing it pretty aggressively and with good success in all the swing states.
So you feel good in this final?
I feel good about it in this final stretch.
All right, we'll leave it there. Lou will be watching.
Thank
you so much for joining us.
It's great to be with you.
You too. Lou Eisenberg joining us there.